Chapter 1. Restored for a Greater Purpose. The return of Sam inspired by Isaiah 43 verse 19. See, I am doing a new thing. Scene 1. Sam's past Beech Creek 1 year ago. Sam, a loyal tan-colored blackmouth cur, ran fiercely alongside his family's ATV, guarding the land he loved. The wind rushed through his fur as he barked at unseen threats. He was a proud protector of Beech Creek. In an instant, everything changed. A stray bullet from a nearby hunter's rifle sliced through the air and struck Sam in the side. He collapsed with a sharp cry as his family rushed to him, their voices filled with panic and sorrow. They raced him to the nearest vet, but hope was slipping away. The injuries were severe, and every minute brought the possibility that Sam might not survive. Scene 2. The Transformation Secret Facility, Unknown Location. As Sam hovered at the brink of death, time blurred into a haze of pain and uncertainty. Then, shadowy figures in surgical masks arrived, speaking in hushed tones about Project Redemption and the promise of a second chance. Sam's broken body was laid on a cold metal table, surrounded by advanced equipment that hummed with an eerie precision. In that sterile environment, his shattered form was fused with cutting-edge robotics. Limbs, torso, and even vital organs were rebuilt with futuristic technology. When Sam finally awoke, he was irrevocably changed, a loyal heart beating inside a body of steel. Confused and overwhelmed, Sam fled the facility under cover of darkness, driven by a desperate need to rediscover his purpose. Scene 3. Return to Beech Creek present day, Beech Creek. Sam approached the familiar creek cautiously. His cybernetic eyes swept over the landscape, capturing every detail: the gentle ripple of water, the rustle of leaves, and the soft shadows dancing on the dirt path. His metallic legs moved silently along the worn trails, but beneath the mechanical exterior stirred a deep longing for the home he once knew. Nearby, Creeker, the loyal companion of Brooke, stood watch at a bend in the creek. His sensitive nose twitched as he detected an unfamiliar scent, a curious mix of metal and earth. Alert and cautious, Creeker stepped forward, his hackles raised. "Who's there?" he barked. Sam froze, his glowing eyes locking with Creeker's. He recognized that wary stance, a reflection of the protective instincts he'd once known so well. Scene 4. First encounter, Creeker held his ground, growling low. "State your business. This creek doesn't take kindly to strangers." Stepping into the light, Sam replied, "I'm not a stranger. My name is Sam. I used to live here." Creeker's growl softened slightly, though his eyes remained alert. "Used to? I've never seen you around. And what exactly are you now?" Sam exhaled, his mechanical voice heavy with past pain and new resolve. "I'm different. I've been through a lot." Creeker explained, "Brooke's not here. He and Gus went off to help some folks a few hollers down. I'm here keeping watch over the creek, looking after the little ones, the fish, turtles, and birds. Things have been quiet, but safer with me around." A trace of wistfulness entered Sam's tone. "I grew up near this creek. I remember exploring these woods as a pup. Brooke, I think I knew him once. But everything's become so fuzzy." Creeker tilted his head, studying Sam with a mix of curiosity and caution. He thought to himself, "I wonder, what would Brooke say if he were here?" He paused, his brow furrowing. He'd probably quote scripture or something. I recall him mentioning something about God doing a new thing, maybe something about a wilderness, or was it a wasteland? I'm not too good with the words. Scene 5. Seeking purpose, Sam's cybernetic eyes brightened. "Wait, I can help with that. I just remembered part of my upgrade includes a full Bible database. Let me try to pull it up." Creeker blinked in disbelief. "You mean your robot brain has the entire Bible in it?" "Apparently," Sam replied. He paused as his internal system processed the request. Moments later, he recited clearly, "See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." Creaker's ears perked up. That's it, Isaiah. Something, right? Isaiah 43 verse 19, Sam confirmed. Creaker considered the words. So, what do you think it means, all this talk of a new thing in wilderness? Sam settled beside him, his metallic form catching the afternoon light. I think it speaks to finding purpose even when life is broken, when you feel lost in a wilderness. Even in our darkest moments, there's a chance for renewal, maybe even within us. Creaker's tail began a slow wag. Brooke would have said something like that. He always talked about how the wilderness challenges us, forcing us to grow, valleys and redemption, and such. Either way, I'm glad you're here, Sam. A playful grin spread across Creaker's face. And that Bible generator of yours? That's one thing you can definitely help with. Plus, I could use your assistance keeping this place secure. But you know. He laughed warmly. You'll have to be second in command. Sam tilted his head in surprise. Second in command? Yep, Creaker replied with a chuckle. This creek is my territory, and I'm the top dog. But I reckon you'd make a solid deputy. A mechanical chuckle escaped Sam. Second in command. Huh? I think I can handle that. Creaker nudged him playfully. Good. Welcome to the team, Metalhead. As they sat side by the creek, the gentle ripple of flowing water carried the promise of new beginnings. In that quiet moment, Sam felt, perhaps for the first time since his transformation, a genuine sense of belonging. Chapter 2. Creekside Chat night descended upon Beech Creek, casting a serene glow over Sam and Creaker's quiet conversation. Sam leaned in closer, his gentle blue-eyed glow illuminating Creaker's thoughtful face. Everything okay? You seem distant. Creaker sighed, his voice low and concerned, thinking about Brooke. And what happened to you, Sam? That lab, the operation. I think what Brooke has been investigating may be connected. Sam's robotic ears perked up, processing Creaker's words. The lab. I remember fragments. Pain, surgery, and whispers about Project Redemption, but it didn't seem like redemption at the time. What do you know, Creaker? Creaker's eyes narrowed. Not enough. But I suspect Brooke might. He's been researching strange occurrences near those labs. We need to find him, Sam. He'll help us uncover the truth. Sam nodded vigorously. Agreed. My creators mentioned Brooke's name during procedures. He could be in danger. That's one reason why I knew I had to come here. I knew my owners were long gone, but this is still home. Do you think Brooke is in imminent danger? Creaker rubbed his chin thoughtfully. Maybe. Brooke's been investigating genetic engineering and robotic enhancements. He suspected local labs were involved. But he doesn't know they're onto him. If they find out he's digging into their secrets, he could be in real trouble. Sam's eye glow intensified. That explains the robotic parts inside me. But why would they choose a dog like me? Creaker leaned in closer. It may have something to do with your lineage, Sam. Your ancestors were bred for intelligence and loyalty. Perfect candidates for enhancement. And if you're a Ladner Blackmouth cur, your secret genetics could be valuable. What do you know about your ancestry? Sam paused, processing this revelation. I think the Ladner dogs were first recognized as a breed here in Mississippi by a man named L. H. Ladner. His son Kurt and his family continue the line today. We were bred for loyalty, protection, hunting. You name it, anything a family out in the country. The Creakers, if you will, might need in a dog. Creaker's voice dropped to a whisper. Brooke feared they're creating enhanced creatures for combat or surveillance. We need him to confirm this. Sam's eyes dimmed for a moment, a shiver running through his mechanical frame as fragments of memories resurfaced. The sharp sting of metal, the harsh voices of the scientists, the sterile coldness of the operating room. I remember the whispers, Sam said, his voice distant. They spoke of Project Redemption, like it was something good, like I was part of something bigger. But I wasn't ready for any of it. I was just a dog. Creaker nodded. But you're more than that now. You're more than what they made you. Sam's eye glow intensified once again, a flicker of something fierce in its light. I was never just a dog. I was always meant for more. Creaker paused, surprised by the intensity in Sam's voice. And you're right. You're not just a dog. You're more than what was done to you. But I'm not just a Creaker either. Sam turned, locking eyes with Creaker. You're not just a Creaker? What does that mean? Creaker smiled, the first real warmth since their talk began. I may not be half robot or a cyborg like you, Sam, but I'm not just some country dog either. I've got a history, a family, and a purpose. You may be in hands, but you're still my friend, my partner in this. Together, we're more than what we've been made out to be. Sam stood a little taller, his glowing eyes reflecting a sense of clarity. You're right. You're not just a Creaker, and I'm not just any old regular dog either. We're more than that, Creaker. You've got your purpose, and I've got mine. We're not defined by what we've been made to be. Creaker grinned slightly, the tension lifting for a moment. You're a lot more than just a dog, Sam. Never forget that. The two of them shared a moment of silent understanding, their bond unspoken but undeniable. As the stars overhead twinkled like distant sentinels, they turned their gaze back toward the horizon. A sense of urgency had settled between them like a storm cloud, but so had a quiet resolve tomorrow. They would start their search, and they wouldn't stop until they had answers. As they prepared to head to sleep, the wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it the weight of all the unspoken questions and promises that lay ahead. Would they uncover the truth? Would they be ready for what they might find? Creaker muttered again, his voice barely audible. Romans 8 verse 28. He works for the good of those who love him, even in the darkness, even when it's not clear. Sam nodded slowly. I believe that, even when it's hard to see the good. I believe that. And as the night deepened around them, they both knew, whatever secrets the dawn might bring, they were ready to face them. Chapter 3. Darkness pressed in around Sam. Cold metal chilled his body, sending shivers through his frame. He couldn't move. Restraints held him in place, tight against the unforgiving steel of the exam table. The sharp scent of antiseptic filled the air, sterile and suffocating. Faint whispers drifted through the void, muffled and distant, like ghosts just beyond his reach. Increased neural integration. Fascinating resilience. The Ladner breed is exceptional. Project Redemption is progressing as expected. We just need more time. A sharp jolt of pain shot through Sam's body, and he tried to yelp, but no sound came out. His vision flickered. Shadows loomed over him, faceless figures with cold, calculating eyes. Then another voice, one that didn't belong. Sam. It was distant at first, cutting through the haze like a thread of light. Sam. Sam, wake up. His eyes snapped open, glowing blue against the pre-dawn darkness. His breath came in short, ragged bursts. His body tensed, ready to fight, ready to run. But he wasn't on the table. There were no restraints, no whispers, just the soft rustling of leaves, the damp scent of earth, and Creaker. The hound's face hovered just inches from Sam's, his brow furrowed with concern. Hey, Creaker said, voice firm but steady. You with me? Sam blinked, his sensors recalibrating. The dream clung to him like a shadow, the echoes of those voices still rattling in his mind. For a brief disorienting moment, he wasn't sure where or when he was. Then Creaker nudged him, a warm, grounding presence. Come on, he said, standing up and shaking out his fur. Time to get going. Sam exhaled slowly, forcing the tension from his body. Whatever that dream had been, memory, nightmare, or something in between, it didn't matter now. He had a mission. Right, Sam said, rising to his feet. His glowing eyes flickered as he turned toward the horizon. Let's move. As they set off, the morning air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. The horizon was tinged with the soft glow of dawn, but Creaker's mind was on something far more pressing than the rising sun. You know, Creaker said, his tone light despite the weight of their mission. Before we go solving this mystery, I say we grab a Scooby snack. Sam stopped mid-step, turning to look at him with an amused expression. Really? His glowing blue eyes flickered with something dangerously close to a laugh. Creaker, undeterred, was already nose-deep in an old supply stash near their makeshift campsite. What? He said, voice muffled as he rummaged through the snack drawer. Even detectives gotta eat. Sam shook his head, a chuckle escaping before he could stop it. Then, with a perfectly timed smirk, he added, "Come on, Raggy." Creaker froze, then shot Sam a deadpan look, a half-chewed biscuit still hanging from his mouth. "Oh, now you're funny." Sam's tail gave a brief wag as he turned back toward the trail. "I'm just saying, if we're doing this, let's do it right. You eat, I lead." Creaker sighed dramatically, stuffing one last snack in his mouth before following. "Fine, but next time I get to be the brains of this operation." Sam snorted. "We'll see about that." With that, the two of them pushed forward, leaving behind a brief moment of humor as they stepped into the unknown. As they moved through the underbrush, Sam's mechanical frame adjusted effortlessly to the shifting terrain, his sensors scanning ahead. After a few minutes of silence, he glanced at Creaker. "So, which way to the nearest lab?" Sam asked. Creaker, still chewing on the last of his snack, mumbled something indistinct. Sam's eye glow flickered. "What?" "Maybe this way," Creaker said, swallowing the last of his biscuit and gesturing vaguely with his snout. Sam stopped, staring at him. "Shouldn't we be using charts?" Creaker blinked. "What? Charts? Maps? Something?" Creaker scoffed. "Okay, genius. Don't you have a map in that fancy brain of yours?" Sam hesitated. Then his ears twitched in realization. "Oh, yeah, my bad." His mechanical systems whirred softly as he accessed his internal database. "But it won't have secret labs on it." "Right," Creaker muttered. "Give me something to work with then." Sam turned expectantly. Creaker thought for a moment, then nodded. "We're in Jackson County. Closest place I can think of that might be connected is an old industrial site near the Pascagoula River. It's been bought and sold a few times. Last I heard, some research firm owned it." Sam processed the information, pulling up relevant data. His eye glow intensified. "Got it. If that's our best lead, we've got a long way to go. It's more than a day's journey from here." Creaker sighed, stretching his legs. "Figures. Nothing's ever easy." Sam nodded. "Nope. But we better get moving. The longer we wait, the more danger Brooke could be in." As they walked, something from their earlier conversation lingered in Sam's mind. He glanced at Creaker. "Tell me again what you meant by that." "My short-term memory is... He blinked, his mechanical ear twitching, short-circuiting. Creaker snorted. "Oh, so now you got jokes and malfunctions?" Sam smirked. "Maybe. Now answer the question." Creaker walked in silence for a moment, his paws pressing against the damp earth. "I meant exactly what I said," he finally answered. "People like to put you in a box, tell you what you are based on where you're from, what you look like, or who your people were. But that ain't the whole story, is it?" Sam considered that. "No, it's not." Creaker nodded. "Same goes for you, Sam. You're more than what they made you. You're not just a science project. And I'm not just some country hound. We're more than that." Sam processed his words, the sentiment striking deeper than he expected. You think God sees it that way?" Creaker turned his head, studying him. "What do you mean?" Sam hesitated. "I mean, I was made into something different. Something I never asked for. So, where does that leave me?" In his eyes. Creaker stopped walking. Sam halted beside him, their surroundings momentarily forgotten. "You ever read Psalm 139? Creaker asked. Sam searched his memory banks, accessing the passage. "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb." "Right," Creaker said. "Ain't a mistake in that. Ain't an accident. And I don't believe for a second that what happened to you changed who you are." God don't make junk, Sam. Sam's eyes dimmed slightly, a thoughtful glow replacing their usual sharpness. But what if I was altered for something? Wrong. Clique sight. Then he'll turn it for something right. Romans 8 verse 28, remember? Sam nodded slowly. He works for the good of those who love him. Creaker glanced ahead at the endless stretch of land before them and huffed. Fitting, really. 'Cause we've got a long road ahead of us in more ways than one. Sam smirked slightly. Yeah, redemption and the Pascagoula River are both a long way off. Creaker chuckled. Guess we better keep walking. Sam paused, then said, That reminds me of a song. About a long road. His voice took on a thoughtful tone, ironically about redemption. Creaker glanced at him. Yeah? What song? Sam's voice was steady as he quoted, Redemption's a long road. Better start walking now. Creaker exhaled, nodding. Ain't that the truth? Sam continued, It's called Ghosts. It talks about letting go of your mistakes, your past, your ghosts. Creech chimed in. They both smiled. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Creaker smirked. Well, guess we better do what the song says, huh? Sam chuckled. Yeah, let's start walking. And so, step by step, they pressed on, toward the truth, toward Brooke, and toward whatever redemption lay ahead. Chapter for the sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows through the twisted pines as Sam and Creaker trotted along the dirt road. The scent of salt water mixed with the damp musk of the woods, and somewhere in the distance, a mourning dove cooed its lonely call. Creaker's paws scuffed against the dirt, kicking up the occasional pine needle as he glanced over at Sam. You ever listen to that song? Sung by Sturgill Simpson. Sam's ears flicked at the name. You mean Johnny Blue Skies? Yes. It's about a coonhound from what I can tell. Creaker huffed a small chuckle. A good one. Loyal. The kind of dog who don't need no leash, 'cause his heart's already tied to his person. Sam kept his gaze forward, scanning the path ahead. You believe that is a good way to be? Creaker shrugged. Don't see no better way, do you? Sam was quiet for a few moments, the rhythmic sound of their paws against the dirt filling the space between them. The road ahead stretched long and empty, winding through the woods toward something neither of them could quite see yet. The song ends in loss, Sam finally said. Yeah, Creaker admitted. Ain't much in this life that don't. He kicked a pine cone, watching it bounce ahead before settling in a shallow groove of the road. But that ain't the point of it, is it? Sam glanced at him. No. Nah. It ain't about how it ends. It's about what you do before it does. That dog, he wasn't just living for himself. He had a purpose, a reason to be. Sam processed that. Purpose, he repeated, his voice mechanical but thoughtful. Yeah. Creaker nodded. And I ain't saying I got all the answers, but I figure we're here for a reason. Same as him. We ain't just wandering for the sake of it. We're after something, Brooke, Project Redemption, the truth. And if we gotta put it all on the line to do what's right. He trailed off, kicking another pine cone. Then maybe that's just how it's meant to be. Sam was silent for a long moment. The wind stirred the trees overhead, the Spanish moss swaying like ghostly fingers. Then, in that calm, steady voice of his, he said, In the book of John, Jesus says, Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Creaker looked at him, ears twitching. You saying that's how you see this? Sam didn't hesitate. Yes. Creaker let that sit between them, the weight of it heavier than any chain. Finally, he exhaled, a slow, deep breath. Then I reckon we're doing this the right way. The road stretched ahead, winding toward whatever waited for them next. The air smelled of brackish water and damp earth, the sky shifting to deep shades of orange and purple as the sun dipped lower. They didn't know how the story would end, but they knew one thing for sure. Whatever came, they would face it together. A two-dog team made up of one cyborg cur and one old country hound. Chapter 5, the sound of drills grinding against metal. Knives piercing flesh. Monitors beeping. Alarming. Screaming. Sam's eyes snapped open, his breath coming fast, circuits running hot. His body tensed as if the nightmare still had its grip on him, the echoes of those sounds lingering in his mind. The scent of oil and blood, the flickering lights, it had felt real. Too real. He stood abruptly, scanning the dim morning. The forest was still, the river's slow current whispering against the muddy banks. Banks! Creaker lay curled up a few feet away, his chest rising and falling in steady rhythm. But Sam couldn't shake the feeling that the dream had been something more than just memory. A warning. His instincts hummed, that deep, unshakable sense that had kept him alive through every fight, every chase. Maybe it was time to turn their hats around, if they had any. He nudged Creaker. "Wake up." Creaker groaned. "Sun ain't even warm yet." "We need to move," Sam said, glancing toward the trees. "Something's coming." Creaker stretched, eyeing him. "You sure that ain't just dream jitters? You look like you've seen the ghosts of Scooby-Doo. All 13 of 'em." Sam didn't answer. His gut told him all he needed to know. Brooke was out there. So were the answers. And if his nightmare was right, so was something else. Something that had been waiting for them. They reached the river by nightfall. A storm had slowed them down and left the world damp and quiet. Mist curled above the water, twisting through the cypress trees like ghosts. Sam stood at the edge, scanning the landscape. His sensors picked up faint heat signatures, humans miles away. He adjusted his optics, enhancing the zoom. A dock, an old fishing shack, a boat. Sam took a quick look around the shack. He didn't let on to Creaker yet, but Brooke had left clues for them. At least, he thought so. On the wall, barely noticeable, written onto an old caution sign were the letters BC with a circle around them. Subtle. But Sam caught it. Brooke must have known I would figure out his clue, Sam thought. But wait. How did he know I would be here? Sam reasoned that Brooke must have witnessed his escape. And if Brooke knew he was here, the lab did too. They would be coming for him, but he may be the key to solving this mystery. Creaker flopped onto the muddy bank. "Are we on break? Or are you ready to swim?" Sam's circuits hummed. The boat was a risk, but swimming wasn't an option, not with his metal parts. "We take the boat," he decided. "It'll be faster." Creaker stretched. "You always got a plan, don't you?" Sam didn't answer. His mind was already ahead, processing their next move. Project Redemption wasn't just a secret lab mission. Sam was certain now it was a threat to life as they knew it. Sam was getting closer to the truth, no matter what it took. Something in him was driving him now. Maybe it was fear or anger, or maybe his willpower had overridden the lab circuits in his brain, and he was now able to use his strengths against the enemy. He could sense where they were, and even what they would do. Devotion, strength in the face of the unknown, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, Sam's nightmare wasn't just a memory, it was a warning. Yet instead of running in fear, he faced the unknown with determination. Even as he sensed the enemy closing in, he pressed forward, using his strengths not as chains, but as tools for freedom. How often do we feel trapped by fear of failure, of the unknown, of forces beyond our control? Yet, Scripture reminds us that fear does not come from God. Instead, he equips us with power, love, and clarity of mind. Like Sam, we may not fully understand the battles ahead, but we can move forward in faith, knowing that we are not controlled by fear, but strengthened by purpose.